Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? If you can, just raise your hands or smile, do something. Good, great, great, great. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your patience while waiting for a few more people. Thank you, Zara. I see everybody waving. Thank you. Ooh, Mr. Caleb, Alabi Caleb, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that you can hear me. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here. Like I said, good evening. My name is Titi Alakija Oyebadejo, and I am your host today. I'm very happy to be here. I'm really excited for this event. And once again, thank you so much. So, like I said, good evening. And this is a very special occasion today. And I'm sure everybody knows why we're here. It is for the virtual book launch of Dr. He made sure, he told me, he said, you have to put that there because I know what I went through to get that degree. So I'm going to say it really loud now so y'all can hear me. He's not just anybody. He's a doctor. Dr. Felix Shaba's virtual book launch today. And he is the author of three very interesting books. It's an honor to have all of you here today as we celebrate the birth of these three masterpieces. And one of the books, just yesterday, A Journey of Strength and Change, Amarachi's Tangled Threads, and Glory Rose, A Story of Shattered Vows and Renewed Passion. I would like to let everybody know that this session is being recorded. So if our co-host can get that recording going on, please, if you don't mind. I'll also like to give a shout out to my co-host, and that is Mr. Lawrence. Thank you so much for helping.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Okay, so is it being recorded?
1 second, please.
Not a problem. Thank you. I would like to acknowledge the people we have online right now. I'm going to acknowledge myself too. Okay.
Yes, it's being recorded now.
Recorded? Okay, thank you. Mr. Usman Alkali, Adepeju Cake Queen herself. Okay, so that's somebody, if I see Cake Queen, so I'm very sure she's a very good baker. I see Adeshola Oshin, I see Anu, Bernice, Blessing, Bolanle, Bilola, Cynthia, Dr. Samuel Eni Ebifa, Dr. FT Shanae Vaughn, Elizabeth Morgan. Let me go down. Wow, we have 33 people. Amazing. Thank you all so much. We have Elizabeth Shaba. We have Paula Abujade. If I mispronounce your name, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I see Kayode Anifowoshe Mayowa Oshin. I see Mrs. Mamudu Christiana Oba Awon Akin Obas. Let's see who else. Let's go down. Pat Daniels, Norway. Peter Shaba. I see Priscilla Quadri, Raphael, Rukayat, Tom, okay, Tonia. Let's go down. Bear with me one moment. I see Tonia. I see Uchena. I see Dr. Kingsley Ugochukwu Oliver. And I think, is that it? Yeah. Oh, I see Dr. T. Let me pull this down. Bear with me one moment. I think that's it. That's it. Co-host, did I do everything? Did I mention everybody? I don't want it. I stopped at Dr. T. I think that's it. I didn't see anybody else. All right. Let's move on. And okay, so we all know why we're here. We're here for the book launch. And like you all know, books have the power to transport us to new worlds. And tonight, we are gathered here to witness the unveiling of these three interesting, intriguing books. Dr. Shaba is a very remarkable storyteller. So we are also going to hear from the author, and we're going to listen to little excerpts from the book. and have opportunities for discussions. So to get this book launch started, we have to give honor to whom honor is due, and we have to make sure that everything goes right. So we all know what the next agenda is to commit everything into God's hands. And so to start this off, we would like to start it off with a short opening prayer. And we have the honor of Pastor Mayowa Oshin. Pastor Mayowa, if you're on, if you can unmute yourself and just lead us in a short prayer to get this book launch started, please.
Thank you. My kid services. Oh, you're back.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and you're all welcome to this book launch. Father, we want to honor your name. We are grateful for the privilege, the opportunity to gather us together to celebrate the gift, the life of Dr. Felix Shaba. Father, your word says to us that through wisdom is from you, and it is you who gives wisdom, and from your mouth come knowledge. And we are thankful that one of such of your son has been able to exhibit this. And therefore, we commit these books into your hands, Father, that to every home, to every hand or heart, that this book will touch, that it will be impactful in the name of Jesus. Lord, we commit this gathering again, that you, oh Lord, take absolute control in Jesus' name. I pray for your son that may he continue, oh Lord, look unto you as your inspiration flow through him to be able to express that gift that you have deposited in him. Lord, we commend this hard work, that you bless it in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Mayowa Oshi. Those are the kind of prayers that, really go a long way. I was, when they said, when I looked at the agenda and they said a prayer, I'm like, oh God, I hope that we're not going to start with prayer. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but people that start with praise and worship with 6 songs first, and then testimony, and then, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Mayowa Oshing, for that. Great. So now that everything has been committed into God's hands, I am happy. I feel great to continue to do this, because I know everything is going to work out for his good. And at this time, we were supposed to have a guest speaker just to come in, but unfortunately he lost a friend. So and that was Professor Pritam Singh. I apologize. Yes, he was supposed to be our guest speaker, but he lost a friend, and so he will not be able to join us. So in your spare time, let's just put him and the family of the deceased in your prayers and your thoughts at this time. And so moving on to the next agenda, we are going to hear from our author by way of Dr. Shaba. Dr. Shaba is excited for this book launch. He's been waiting for this day for a long time, and thank God it's here today. So we have the honor of Dr. Shaba coming on right now, to just tell us a little something and to get this started. So Dr. Shaba, are you ready to show your excitement? I need to see that smile. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Welcome.
I always call her Auntie Titi, so when I say Auntie Titi, so she'll be able to know who I'm talking about. I want to welcome each and every one of us to this special occasion, and I want to thank you so much for taking out your time to be with us today. It's not easy when you send invitees to people and for them to leave every other thing they are doing to join you. I'm not taking that for granted. I want to say thank you once again. And I want to thank the host also, Titi Alaki, that despite all what you passed through last week, I mean, you understand, few other people understand as well. You are still able to make it. I really appreciate you for that. And I feel humbled to have you, despite everything that happens. The co-host also, Mr. Lawrence, I say thank you for everything. I mean, we have been together for a while now, and our meeting has been a sort of a blessing to each other. So thank you so much for taking out your time. I'll have to thank my boys also, because they are working hard behind the scene to really make sure that everything is okay. They are monitoring the Facebook and to make sure that everything is working fine. They worked tirelessly to see to the fact that the Zoom link and everything is okay. I was quite shocked when they were even the one teaching me what to do and how to go about the whole thing, their dedication and everything. I mean, I thank them. And to my wife also, I want to say thank you. Without you, the books wouldn't be, alive today. Because I remembered those years, months, weeks, when I have to wake up in the night. Oh, when are you going to finish all this? I said, don't worry. By the time it's finished, you will be able to see it. And everything is out today. I'm sure that you are proud that at least we are able to bring people together today. Thank you so much for that. My guest speaker, Professor Pritam, supposed to be here today, but unfortunately, due to losing a close friend, is not able to make it. He has been a sort of a backbone. I've known Professor Pritam since 2015 when I started my PhD, and I have one or two other people here. They can testify to who he is. A very dedicated man, and we always call him Lion, because when you send 200-page work to him, within 3 hours he will come back to you and give you the feedback. I will be surprised. How did he read 300, 200 or 300 pages within such a short period of time? That's how dedicated he is. It's quite unfortunate that he's not able to join us, but we remember him in our prayers. And to my editors, I cannot thank you enough, because they did amazing work. Without them, it would have been impossible for me to get this work done. I say Dr. Sam Bifa, thank you so much, and Dr. Kingsley Oliver. In fact, I was a student to them. Despite the fact that we're all doctors, anytime we have any meeting, I was just like a primary 6 students to them, and I really love their creativity, and the way they handle the whole thing. I say thank you. And to the book designers also, the first one was just yesterday. Was the idea of the design was by myself, so I thank myself for coming up with that idea. And the second one, I want to thank in a very special way Clement Garuba. Clement lives in Abuja, and if you see the book, he actually hand drawn the picture, so it was not computer generated. It was purely work of art. So I really thank him for that and for the great work. And to Bros Dave Concept, he designed the Glory Rose, and I say thank you as well. And the video trailer was being carried out by the wonderful man who is also based in Abuja. It's Mr. Albert Afeso Akombi of Doppler Films Production. He did a fantastic work, and in a few seconds you'll be seeing that as well, and you'll be able to testify to that. And to everyone present, I say thank you to all my brothers and sisters, to my in-laws, and to my late parents. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to be who I am today. I thank them. And to you friends and everybody present today, I'm not taking any one of you for granted. It's impossible for me to mention each and every name here today, but all what I want to say is that you are making the day a very special one for me. And I say thank you. I love you all.
Thank you so much. And now, if you have your popcorns, if you have your drinks, if you have your amala, whatever it is that you want to chill on, we have a special book trailer screening for you right now. And is my co-host ready?
Meet Dr. Felix Shaba, a distinguished scholar and passionate social advocate. With a PhD in business and a deep commitment to women's empowerment, Dr. Shaba's work transcends both academia and the real world.
All the degrees I have is in the financial sector area, but I started having the motivation or the passion for writing since when I was in my undergraduate levels in those days, because immediately I entered the University of Ilorin, Nigeria. Then first thing I did was to join a press club. And at the end of my second year, I was made the editor-in-chief of the press club because of my commitment, my passion, and the numbers of articles I was writing then.
Dr. Shaba holds multiple degrees from prestigious institutions, including Oxford Brookes University. He is the CEO and founder of the Gaffin Charitable Foundation, dedicated to bridging the gender gap and empowering women and girls in rural communities. In Just Yesterday, Dr. Shaba tells the heartwarming story of Shetan, a young boy whose dreams are fueled by his mother's unwavering love, a testament to resilience and the transformative power of maternal belief. In Amarachi's Tangled Threads, we explore the complex journey of a woman torn between societal expectations and personal desires, a powerful narrative of love, identity, and the pursuit of happiness. Finally, Glory Rose delves into the emotional journey of Afolabi and Yetunde, a Nigerian couple facing the challenges of life in a foreign land. A poignant story of love tested by time, distance, and cultural change. Discover these inspiring tales of resilience, love, and empowerment. Available now on Amazon, Lulu, and Ingram Spark. Join us in celebrating the launch of Dr. Felix Shaba's literary works. Empowerment begins with a story.
Thank you so much. Wow. Just watching that trailer was very captivating, and I'm sure it is like pumping you up to want to buy all 3 books and like read it. Kudos to the man, woman who was behind, getting this put up. That was such a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so before I continue, there's going to be something really special at the end of, well, I can decide to put it whenever. So anyway, it's going to be interactive. So y'all should listen, because there's some clues, there's some things I'm going to ask later, and it's going to be in the chat. Whoever answers first, who knows? There might be something like really special out there for you. So please listen, don't just put it on and walk away, because you might be the winner of something tonight. So just make sure you listen to everything going on. Great. So let's move on to the next item on here. And this is going to be a cinematic video of each book and live reading session. So our dear distinguished author, Dr. Shaba, is going to, read selected pages from his book. But after we have viewed cinematic clips of each book, we are going to start off with Just Yesterday, a journey of strength and change. And if my co-host is ready, let's go.
And if we look critically well, we will see that just yesterday's book about a mother and a son. And the vision of the mother was so strong, and she was so passionate, like every other woman around, that she saw ahead of the child, and she was able to guide the child towards that. So I'm going to read from chapter 2 of the book itself, and it's titled Stunted Dreams. And this is a story about Shaitan himself, who left home in the morning after preparing to go to school, and with a mindset of having a very good day at the end of the day. But all of a sudden, something that almost led to the end of his academic career happened at the school. So let's just listen as I read. So they were on the assembly grounds, and the principal brought out an exercise book in which he had listed the names of debtors. He called out the names of debtors in class 1. There were 5 in total, 3 boys and 2 girls. 4 of them raised their hands and informed the principal that their parents had given them the money that morning, and they intended to pay after the morning assembly. He asked them to walk immediately to the bursary office and make the payment, and return to the assembly with the receipt. The principal then turned to the only boy left in class 1. Can you tell me why you haven't paid your fees yet? The principal demanded, his voice sharp with fury. The boy shifted uncomfortably. My mother said she would come and make the payment today. The principal's gaze snapped towards the gate. A woman was walking through, but something about her movement struck him as strange. He paused, watching her closely, and then turned back to the boy, his suspicion growing. Is that your mother entering through the gate? He asked, his voice now colder and more intense. In a joyful mood, the boy answered yes. He asked the boy to go and meet his mother and take her to the bursary to make the payment. The boy felt relieved and raised to meet his mother. The principal then moved to the next class. As expected by all at that assembly, Shaitan was the first person to be called, and it was no surprise to them that he was the only debtor in the whole of class 2. When the principal checked through the list in his hand again and realized he was the only one, he asked him to step aside as his case was exceptional. The 2 students who were called in class 3 and 4 were absent from school. He told their class members to inform them not to return until they have paid their fees. If any of those debtors are seen in the school without paying their fees, I will ensure I punish all class members who harbor such debtors, he roared. Shaitan looked like a condemned prisoner waiting for execution. Imagine being the only debtor on the ground among 136 students. To cover up his tension, he began to scratch the ground with his big toe. He usually did this whenever he found himself in any embarrassing situation. The principal watched the drama with amusement. He wondered why a family in such a high poverty level could dream of sending their child to school to face such ridicule rather than asking him to follow them to the farm or to learn a trade. But is it a must for a child in that poverty level to go to school when there are so many menial jobs such a child can pursue? Definitely no. I must put an end to this, he vowed to himself. So the whole assembly waited quietly to see what the principal would do. He cleared his throat once again, shook his head, and said, "The record shows that it has become a norm for you not to bother paying whatever levy the school comes up with until you are forced to do so." He looked at Shaitan from head to toe and wondered whether he had ever seen such a high level of poverty in his life. Mr. Fagites Stan gazed buzzed into Shaitan, demanding his full attention. The principal asked him, "Who is your father?" Summoning courage, Shaitan squared his shoulder and met the principal's gaze head on. Though his voice quivered with uncertainty, his resolve demanded unwavering as he spoke. "Mr. Agbaje," he answered pitifully. The principal's words resonated through the assembly ground. "I have told you students time and time again," the principal's voice rang out, commanding attention and respect in equal measure. "I hate seeing paupers in my school. No matter how brilliant a student might be, they must still be able to meet some basic requirements before I recognize them as my students. But even in the face of such adversity, Shaitan refused to be cowed. Though the principals were stung like a slap in his face, but he remained steadfast in his resolve, determined to see himself not as a victim. Look, and to emphasize the kind of student the principal envisioned in his school, he called out Shono, whose magnificent appearance as he strode to the front of the assembly was impossible to ignore. With a haughty glance in Shaitan's direction, Shono's presence spoke volumes about the standard of excellence the principal sought to uphold. Look at this, student. I want you to compare what you are wearing with ease, without being told. Even a blind man would have known that Shaitan was wearing mere rags. The principal looked at him once again and shook his head. Other teachers could not help but sympathize with him, with the humiliation and the no-nonsense principal was inflicting on him. I wonder how you managed to pass through primary school up to this level with your state of poverty. You should thank Obafemi Awolowo, who implemented free education in the West before the military took over and introduced fees at all levels. He continued, I want to assure you that today will undoubtedly mark the end of your days within these school walls. However, before I bid you farewell to this educational environment, I have a special gift in store for you. The token will serve as a lasting memory for your final day here, he announced in solemn voice. The principal then called the teacher in charge of discipline. Make sure you leave indelible mark on his back, a punishment that will serve as a lasting memory of his school days, so that anytime he looks at his back in the mirror, if he ever had the money to buy one in his lifetime, the principal commandments.
Oh, wow. Wow. Principal. This principal is something else, but wow. I really, just reading that or just hearing you read that, I'm curious. I want to know what happened after that. So, and I'm sure I'm not the only person like, okay, what happened next? What happened next? I told you all that Dr. Shaba is a very good storyteller, didn't I? Because I'm curious right now, to know exactly. Well, I know because I know I've read the book, but I'm sure some of you might not have. And I know with this, it's really going to make you want to, get the book and figure out what happened to Shaitan at the end. Thank you everybody for all your well wishes. It's duly noted. And Mr. Utman had to leave. Dr. Usman Al-Khali had to leave because he said it's time for breakfast here in Nigeria. But he will join later. And hey, please don't finish all the food. We'll like to eat some too if you have any left over. So hopefully he will call back. There are lots of congratulatory messages on here. I can't read everything. It's being recorded, sir. So I'm very sure at the end of this, you'll be able to read everything and respond to people individually. But thank you, everybody, once again, for being on here. We truly appreciate it. We are not taking your presence here for granted. So thank you so much for that. And we're going to quickly move to the next book, the next cinematic video of that. And yes, co-host, if you're ready, please take it away. so much for that cinematic video of Amarachi's Tangled Threads. And right now, Dr. Shaba is just going to read a page or selected pages, a short section, just to give us an insight of what that book is about. Over to you, Dr. Shaba.
Yeah, thank you so much. The book Amarachi's Tangled Threads is a book that is rich in culture, and a book that shows the way I'm going to read is a point at which there is a turning point. It's also chapter 2 of the book, which is titled Amarachi Gets Married. Before she got married, there was a sort of a struggle within her in the area of the fact that she wanted to pursue her career as a 17-year-old girl. You expect her that is zealous, that is passionate about education, to focus on her education. But all of a sudden, somebody just come from nowhere to say, we want your hand in marriage. We now want to listen to the conversation between the family of the would-be husband and her own family, to be able to see the impact that culture is playing in the life of women, and to really see what now happens thereafter. I'll be reading from chapter 2, and which is titled, like I said, Amarachi Gets Married. So meanwhile, a week later, Mr. Ejiofor and his kinsmen received a visit from Mr. Linus' kinsmen in the afternoon. He welcomed them by presenting them with a kola nut. The air was thick with cultural tradition surrounding the presentation of the kola nut by the hosts. The kola nuts were broken and eaten at the end of the celebratory speech and rituals. Then the oldest man among Mr. Linus' kinsmen cleared his throat and said, "May you see no sudden death. May you also see no sudden death." They all chorused and fixed their eyes on the lanky, weary old man. Well, he continued, "The toad does not run at noon in vain. As a matter of fact, when the child is crying and pointing, look closely. Either of the parents is present. We all know that a good commodity markets itself. So it is Nani, one of his kinsmen, provided their support. It is said that a good road brings about more travel on it. It is our hope that this road we are traveling will induce more travel." As he sat down, he gestured to Mr. Linus to present the keg of palm wine to the host, which he promptly did. Mr. Ejiofor and his kinsmen exchanged glances out and then looked back at the visitors. The old man again cleared his throat and said, "Our host, this wine belongs to you." He then sat down quietly, leaning his cheek against his left hand. "We have received the wine," Mr. Ejiofor spoke calmly, and sent for tumblers. When the tumblers were brought, Mr. Ejiofor asked the youngest among them to pour out the wine, but first to the presenter. The young man poured a glass for Mr. Linus, who drank with relish. He then poured for himself, the host, and then for everybody. When everybody had taken a glass, Mr. Ejiofor cleared his throat and asked, "What is this wine meant for?" His voice was dignified. They expressed Mr. Linus' desire to marry Amarachi. "We have heard what you said. However, our only response at this point is that you will leave now and go into the house of thinking, while we too go into the house of consultation." "Well said," the lanky, weary old man said. They exchanged pleasantry once again and departed. So later that evening, Mr. Ejiofor made his way to his mother's house and discovered his two brothers already assembled there, anticipating his arrival. Meanwhile, in her room, Amarachi became aware of her father's presence through the sound of his voice. She contemplated stepping out to welcome him, but hesitated upon hearing additional voices in the parlor. Intrigued, her curiosity piqued. She remained in her room and involuntarily listened in. What she overheard left her completely incredulous. Tension filled the air as Mr. Ejiofor confronted his brothers, their faces displaying unwavering determination. "You must grasp the significance of this union," one of the brothers declared, his voice heavy with anticipation. "Mr. Linus hails from a distinguished lineage, and his union will surely elevate our family's reputation. Mr. Ejiofor stood tall, his gaze steady. Regardless of our family background, my daughter's happiness is my top priority. We will not compel her to enter a marriage against her will. Someone suddenly appears from somewhere and declares, I want to marry your daughter, and this is your position. Speaking more forcefully, the second brother interrupted. But it's tradition, Ejiofor. Amarachi's marriage is not entirely up to her. The family decides and approves who she marries. Mr. Ejiofor's jaw clenched, his determination unwavering. I'm glad you said it, but it's not entirely hers, which means her consent is extremely important. Furthermore, when did this tradition, which I don't know about, begin? Tradition no longer constrained women to choose their own path, except for the one you imported today. I refuse to pressure my daughter into a marriage she does not desire. I'm only here to find out whether she had any prior knowledge of this visit today. Amarachi stormed out of her room, furious, not being part of the crucial decision process. When Amarachi's father delivered the news, her reaction was not at all what he had anticipated. An intense argument broke out. Amarachi confronted her father for neglecting her and her sister before suddenly arranging her marriage at a young age. Father, this is unjust, Amarachi protested, her voice beaming with emotion. You can't simply decide on my future without asking me. I must pursue further education. I am not prepared for marriage. Amarachi's voice reverberated through the compound, filled with frustration and indignation. Her father let out a steady sigh, his tired eyes clearly showing the burden of the situation. Amarachi, what have you been filling your head with that you've lost your manners to the point of talking to me this way? He confronted her with his eyes, demanding an apology. Has it been your decision to send yourself to school and pay the bills all these years? The decision to pursue further education is yours now, right? So on whose shoulder does the responsibility rest? Amarachi's uncle intervened with firm voices, their faces reflecting a mix of tradition and expectation. Amarachi, you have a responsibility to maintain our family's reputation and values. Marriage is inevitable for women, and you will embrace it regardless of your feelings, Alioze, the second uncle said, his voice echoing century of customs. Amarachi's frustration reached its peak as she shook her head in disbelief. But what about my dreams? What lies ahead for me? She argued, her voice beaming with urgency. As her father looked at her, he saw nothing but the face of his late wife. A touch of pain appeared in his eyes, softening his expression. Amarachi, listen to me. We always have your best interest at heart, which is why we are all here to learn about your position in this whole thing. As you claim, we have not made any decision without your input. Now, I want to ask you, do you know this man? And who is he to you? I don't know him, but your uncles appear to have some information about him. But father, there are over 20 years age gap between me and Mr. Linus. I can't marry someone almost as old as you. Amarachi's frustration split into the conversation as she narrated all she knew about Mr. Linus.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Interesting. Amarachi. Amarachi must be a Gen Z because back in the day, you said trust. It's again, she must definitely be a Gen Z. To be able to tell her parents, no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and stuff like that. So, wow, that's interesting. I really want to know what happened at the end. Did she eventually get married to this guy that was 20 years? How long is it? I'm going to be husband again. Now is it? Oh my God! Well, we thank God. So yes, thank you so much for that, and I'm really intrigued about what happened at the end for others that haven't read the book. But I'm very sure with that few lines and that you read out, I'm sure a lot of people are curious as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Shaba, for that. And that was Amarachi's Tangled Threads. And so, like I said, for those who joined us late, thank you so much. There are about 55 of us on here. Towards the end of this, I told the earlier viewers to please listen because it's going to be interactive and you might stand a chance to win something. So everything that you're listening to, just pay attention because, like I said, you might win something and it's going to be in the chat. So fastest fingers when that time comes. Thank you so much. All right. And now we're going to go to the last book, last but not least, because I know Dr. Shaba is cooking up some more things in his head, and I'm very sure of that. I give you kudos for this, sir, because writing is not easy at all. It is not. Sleepless nights, things like that. So let's quickly go to the last book, Glory Rose, a story of shattered vows and renowned passion. And Mr. Lawrence, if you're ready, please take it away. Thank you so much for that. And Mr. Shaba, you see, find me, oh, find me. Dr. Shaba, please go ahead with the pages. Thank you.
Book is Glory Rose, and what I try to explore here, there are those challenges and obstacles that people face when they relocate. Most of us are immigrants, and when we left our countries, the expectation we came with and what we met is sort of a variance. And as such, what I've now tried to do is to look into that, delve into that, and now try to look into the story of Afolabi and Yetunde. And I'll be reading from chapter 13 of the book, which it was titled The Weight of Regret. And before then, a lot happened. So as Afolabi gradually found his way and adjusted to the reality of life, Yetunde grappled with a different type of chaos. The freedom and independence she had initially sought with pride suddenly turned sour. The stillness within the house, once a sanctuary of solace, now weighted heavily on her spirit. She strolled through the room that once resounded with the joyful laughter of her loved ones, feeling a pang of sorrow gripped her heart. The twins became less active, refused food, and cried most often, calling for their father even in their sleep. After a while, they fell ill, which Yetunde, though a qualified nurse, found quite troublesome. All the tests conducted on them came back negative. Finally, it was discovered that the girls were experiencing pediatric depression as a result of their father's absence. One evening, as Yetunde prepared the children's favorite dinner, beans and fried plantain, hoping to lift their spirit, she caught a glimpse of herself in the kitchen window. The woman staring back seemed unfamiliar. Her eyes were heavy with exhaustion. Her posture slumped. Her face wore a hollow emptiness, a stark contrast to the confident woman she has always been. She has once prided herself on being in control, but now that sense of command felt like a distant mirage, its promise accompanied by unforeseen consequences. Dara and Dami, she called softly, her voice laced with hope. Guess what? Mommy made your favorite meal. Come and enjoy it. What about Daddy? Is he eating with us as well? Yetunde was at a loss for words to say. What excuse could she give for their father's absence? Be good, my precious babies, she said softly, trying to reassure them. Mommy will carry you to the table and feed you. I know you will like it. I want my daddy, the two guests cried, all at once, their tears flowing uncontrollably. This was overwhelming for Yetunde, who was already stretched thin by the demands of her job and the task of managing the twins. She had made countless fruitless attempts to find a live-in childminder, but to no avail. She was on the brink of tears as she watched them look with disgust at the food she had so diligently prepared. They slid down from their chairs, went into the bedroom, occupied the side of the bed where their father used to sleep, and hugged his pillow. Soon, the girls fell asleep and began mumbling. It was heart-wrenching for Yetunde, who watched helplessly as her daughters pined away. She seemed to lose her appetite for food as well. In that moment, Dami suddenly started, smiling in her sleep as she said, Daddy, tell us a story. The sound of their grief echoed through the house, and Yetunde, feeling helpless, could only watch as her daughter's pain deepened. A story, don't worry, Mommy will tell you a story, okay? She said in a soft, teary voice. She began the familiar tale of Princess and the Frog, but halfway through, Dara interrupted. I don't like this story. Me too, Dami chimed in. We want the one Daddy tells us. She cuddled them affectionately to herself and stared blankly ahead in confusion. She could no longer stop her tears and let them flow freely. This seemed to have a magical effect on the twins, who after a while fell asleep.
Interesting. Yes, I'm sure a lot of us will be able to, connect to this book, especially like you said, where most of us are, immigrants and coming to a new foreign country, trying to acclimatize, get, yourself together, with your family. It's a lot. So I'm very sure we can all, resonate with this. And I see a comment here. I believe it's from Bolanle Ibilola. She says, captivating stories. Absolutely. Like I said, I did mention that Dr. Shaba is an excellent storyteller. Maybe we should change your name from Felix to, what? Who are those storytellers? Those storytellers back in the day. Change it to one of them. So thank you so much for this. We really appreciate it. And you reading it out, some pages, like I said, I'm sure a lot of people are, curious as to, okay, how did it start? How is it going to end? So I'm very sure we have 61 people on here. And so 61 purchases. We are speaking it into existence that everybody on here is going to get at least 3, even though there are 3, at least 3. So that means all 3 books, to read. So thank you so much. And at this time, I'm going to be asking the host a couple of questions. Sir, what inspired you to write your first novel and the 2 other after? How did the concept evolve over time? So if you can just let us know briefly, what really, did you just wake up? Today I'm going to write and write. Or it's been something that has been in you to explore for a while? Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. For the first book, just yesterday, A Journey of Strength and Change, it was hugely, influenced by my upbringing. And I know that I have some people out there, some of my brothers are also, they will testify to that. And because I grew up in a rural area, and growing up in a rural area, I saw how mothers struggled to put food on the table, and most especially in those days in the rural areas, fathers or men tends to practice polygamy, and as such, every mother was always there to cater for their own children. And when you now see a woman that strives so much to really see to the fact that the poverty level that the children met is not what she wished for them, gave a lot of encouragement. So growing up in such an environment and having the opportunities to be able to, further my studies, I sat down to now look at it. How can I project the voice of those women out there? Because nobody is talking about them. Somebody has to do something, a work in that particular area. So that is how I came about the Shiton, and Mama Eniton. And they played key roles. And for those who have read the book and those who will still read, I can assure you that there is no way you can read the book that you will not resonate with it. It's quite a very interesting book. So that was what motivated the first book. Initially, I wanted to be a one-off author. But after writing the first book, I realized that I still have some things to explore. And that's it. Which area should I now focus on? I realized that the age gap affects partners. And apart from the age gap also, a situation in which if the vision of the man and the vision of the woman differ, then there tend to be trouble or problems. So that was what brought the motivation to now say, okay, let me try to explore this aspect of it, that where you have a divergence in opinions, where you have divergence in goals, where the man is thinking of settling down and having children, and the woman is thinking of furthering her education. What are those things that could cause issues? And I really explored that in the second book. And after the process of writing that, because I read a lot, and I came to realize that immigrants are facing some huge issues, most especially in the Western world, in the US, in the UK, and other European countries. And because of the mindset they brought was totally different from what they meant. And as a result of that, most of them were unable to manage this. And this has led to domestic violence in the homes. It has led to divorce. It has led to separation and the rest. So I said that, it is not all the time that things should end in a bad way. We should be able to find a way that despite what happens between the husband and the wife, despite the fact that the man himself could see, pure evidence of the misdeed of the wife, there should still be a room for forgiveness and redemption. So those are the things that motivated me to write those 3 books. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. That's a good, motivation to write these books, especially when it comes to things that are actually, going on in the society that people can relate to. So, when you're reading the book, it's not like it's like magical or whatever. Nothing wrong with that, but it's something that you can relate to and like, oh yeah, or you might even know somebody that has been through that. Or, so thank you so much for that. My next question to you, sir, will be, what do you hope readers will take away from reading these 3 books?
Well, thank you so much. In terms of just yesterday, a story of strength and change, it's all about a message of hope and resilience. Just to let readers know that no matter how difficult life may seem, if we try to persevere and believe in whatever we are doing, with time we will succeed in it. Shaitan proved that to us all. From nowhere, for him to be able to now, that was a boy that almost, because of 50 naira then, today it's less than a penny. It's less than a pence. So for a child to now be able to walk through all those hurdles and become somebody that has the highest academic degree on earth, you should know that he passed through a lot. And so it's not something, the book itself actually showed a vivid description of each step of the way. So it's not that maybe we just heard of Shaitan was in the village and all of a sudden we just saw him achieving a PhD. No, the story was sequential, and it's really a lovely story. So it talks more of a message of hope and resilience and the power of mother's love, and it tends to really tell us as mothers, tell mothers the positive impact they make in the life of children, because we all know that most often you see ahead of us, and now putting that into practice by trying to encourage your children positively, even things that they are not possible at that particular time, trying to let them know that, come, you can achieve this, you can do this, speaking positive things into their life and gearing them up, letting them know that, yeah, they have your support. It goes a long way to motivate such children to do more in life. And apart from that, it's a book that talks about breaking barriers, because ordinarily she's not supposed to still be in the village there, farming, following the father to the farm or the mother to the farm or all those things. But he did not see that as a barrier. He struggled, he suffered, and at the end of the day, he was able to move to the higher level. Then about Amarachi's Tangled tribe, what I feel people should take away from the book itself is that to know that at times we struggle for self-discovery. We don't know where we belong, and we believe that at one time or the other we deserve freedom to define our own happiness. Because when you look at the life of Amarachi and Mr. Linus, they are totally divergent. They have totally different opinions about what happiness is all about. And apart from that, also, it's a book that talks about the complexity of love and the duty. What are those things that can lead to a separation? What are those things that can lead a marriage to a point of that we cannot redeem it? And apart from that, also, it's a book that tries to empower women, to let them know that come, no matter any constraint, you should be able to keep your vision, because that's what we call the childhood dream, of which all have it. But some along the way, they tend to forget about it, and it's causing a lot of chaos and troubles for them. So those are the things I want them to take away from Amarachi's Tangled thread. And for Glory Rose, when I think one of our speakers, when they will speak, they will know. When I sat down to look at the life of Afolabi, I asked myself, can we still have such man in our society today? A man that, despite everything the wife did, he believed so much in the unity of the family. He believed so much that the life of the children, he has to do something to make sure that the marriage continues. And as a result of that, it's something that talked about forgiveness and redemption. And that is one thing. And another thing that I want people to take away from the book is that marriage is a process. Because at the initial stage of the whole thing, Afolabi and Yetunde were fervent Christians. So nobody will ever dream or think that things will go the way it went in the book itself. So that things were rosy at this initial stage of the marriage doesn't mean that tribulations and problems cannot arise along the way. But how do we now tend to manage this? Those are the things that I believe that people can take away from that. And finally, on the Glory Rose, another thing is the fact that when we look at it, should we let go or should we hold on? Should we let go of things, of the wrongs people did to us, or should we hold on to it? So at the end of the day, by the time we read that book, we'll be able to see that, if you know anything about forgiveness, I encourage you to read that book. Or if you think you have forgiven somebody in the past, and as a result of that, you are seeing yourself as a G, as somebody that has arrived, go and read Glory Rose and come back to me and tell me that now, that what Afolabi did, that you have done something higher and greater than that. So it helps to bring people together, to let them know that, come, no matter what wrong anyone does, we should still give room for forgiveness, because the cost of not forgiving might be higher than the cost of forgiving. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. I saw Pastor Bayawa Oshi was clapping, doing twale. Not that's what you say in Nigeria, like Naibiko. I saw that. I also see a message on here from Bishop Joe Igalo. It says, Dr. Shaba, this effort scores a bullseye within the area of literature. You have deliberately and sustainably made a mark by these efforts. I commend you. Literature is the area so unique through storytelling. Is an area so unique. Through storytelling is our cultural pattern so eroded in contemporary day. Thank you as you continue to bring us closer to our culture and our past. Maria K says, speaking positively to our kids. I believe she wrote that when you were talking about Amarachi's Tangled threads, if I'm correct. And she also says, very well spoken. Thank you so much for these encouraging comments and feedback. I'm sure Dr. Shaba is truly grateful for this. And so thank you so much. We're going to move on to, we have maybe a slot for maybe one or two people. If you have any questions for Dr. Shaba right now, if you can raise your hand in the chat, or if you cannot, if you're too shy like me, I'm very shy. When I was told to do this, I was like, me, no, I can't. You're right. If you're shy and you do not want to come on camera, you could put your question in the chat, and my co-host is also going to help me monitor that so that I don't miss it. So, where did you get inspired? Where? Okay, so Maria K says, where did you get inspired?
Well, I believe inspiration comes from different places. It could come from our sleep. It could come from what is happening around us. It could come as a result of what we have passed through or what other people have passed through. So those are some of the areas. Like I said, the just yesterday was greatly influenced by my upbringing. So when you read that book, you will know that the person that wrote this book must know about poverty before he can give detailed explanation of what poverty is all about and what the women pass through out there in the rural areas. And like the Amarachi Tangled thread, the inspiration for that came from what I learned about age gap in marriage, what I learned about when there's a sort of differences in the goals and aspirations of husbands and wives, and what I had out there. Then for the Glory Rose, we all know of the Japa syndrome, and we all read books, we all read news on YouTube everywhere about what is happening and how those things are sort of affecting marriages out there. But what I just tried to do there was that, come on, we should always be able to look at the positives. Not all separation that leads into divorce, in as much as there is no fatal domestic violence involved in such. If it is just mere arguments or one thing or the other, then we should be able to see how we can sit down to look at that. And it really also portrays the power of our culture, because to solve the problem between both of them, a lot of processes were followed, and which can be seen in the book. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm looking to see if there are any other questions, and I do not see any. I don't see any raised hands, and I do not see anything in the chat. Maria K says thank you very much. And yes, Let's see. So we're gonna move on, and just based, I'm gonna be biased right now. All the fathers in the house, I beg, just indulge me. Well, the book just yesterday, A Journey of Strength and Change, and Dr. Shaba was talking about mothers. So all the mothers in the house, kudos to us. It's not an easy something at all. you're trying to be mother, wife, this, that. How do I do this? My children here, this, that. So it's we always put on 1,000 caps on our head. So, and to the daddies too. Let me joke it. To the daddies and to the fathers, thank you so much for being the head of household and for all of what you do too. And we're grateful.
Yeah, just to let you know, Mayowa Oshin is asking, should we be looking forward for some books, or you will be taking a break to refresh for now?
Thank you so much for that question. I mean, once you are an author, it's quite difficult for you to stop. That is the truth. At the moment, I'm working on 2 other books, actually. My wife was even asking me, come on, why not rest? When did you publish the last one that you are thinking of another one again? But what I realized is that when the ideas keep coming, you cannot hold them back. You just want to express them out, most especially when there are things that you believe the society will benefit from. So others are coming. I'm planning to maybe write up to 200 before the end of my life on earth. Hopefully, I have so much to read.
That's wonderful. May His will be done. No matter whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve it. That's it. So thank you so much for that. And let's see, any more? A lot of congratulatory messages. Like I said, I'm unable to read everything, but this session is being recorded, so you'll be able to see it. We're going to moving along so that we can, get to the main meat of the whole thing. Writing a book is not an easy something at all. I remember helping my mom in writing her book, and I believe at one point I was sleep talking about something in that book, because your mind is constantly going on like, or you're looking at it and you're like, this English is not correct. Can somebody read this thing and like understand this language? So a lot of things go on with writing a book or editing a book. And so at this point, I want to invite Dr. Oliver, who's one of the editors of this book, to please just come on and just let us know what the editing process was like, and what were some of the challenges that Dr. Oliver faced when editing this book. So if Dr. Oliver is on, if you can unmute yourself and just share briefly, your experience with this, we'll truly appreciate that.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
All right. In talking about Dr. Shaba's book, I think I can only describe him as an impulsive writer. By that, in our world of literature, it means somebody that can today tell you I'm going to write, by tomorrow he has turned out, and brought a piece out. During the work, actually, his first work, just like yesterday, the story was fine, but lacked the artistic touch, actually. And he received quite good, how do I describe it? Serious tongue lashing from me. That I didn't just treat him as a client, I treated him more like a friend. And in fact, as the student, he has already chimed in. I said, what is this? What is that? What is this? And he's somebody that can listen to superior argument. He will quietly listen. But in the next hour, he has come out with something wonderful. And I want to end my story with Dr. Shaba with an American story I read about 35 years ago. It was about a blacksmith who took on an apprentice. And within 3 months, a young man had designed a gun that could shoot a bullet for 3 miles. Upon testing, the young man split a mountain in 3 miles, and Oga said, "Wow, you've nothing to do here anymore. You've learned." That's all I could say about Dr. Shaba. The first book, after directing him here and there, he came out with the piece we are seeing today. Then he came with Amarachi. The same process. Each step of the way, he kept improving. And I kept wondering, is this man really in literature, or he's pretending he didn't study literature? But he said, no, I'm in the finance world, but I can confidently beat my chest and say Dr. Shaba is a literary artist. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kingsley Oliver, for that. And Dr. Shaba, I'm sure you are pleased for that feedback. It's very, 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 very positive. You know, there's some people you work with and you're like, this is the last time I'm going to work with you. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm not go. But, you know, with those words that Dr. Kingsley said, Dr. Oliver said, you're a very pleasant person to work with, very, very, very easy to work with. And I'm sure with your next 200 books, God willing, Dr. Oliver will be there again to guide you all the way. And just briefly, sir, what were your challenges? Just briefly, were there any challenges? What did you experience? What did you go through?
It was quite challenging, most especially with the first book, because in a situation in which you are trying to sort of separate yourself from the reality, it's quite difficult, because at times I will get halfway, I become emotional, I sit down, at times I have to put it down. You know, it brought back old memories, some bad, some good, and some, just in between. And then trying to now transition between the 3 books, because like the first one and the second one, I released them within a month interval. So transitioning between them, trying to now make sure that the style of writing is totally different. I'm not copying from the first book into the second book and all those things, was also another challenge, and another challenge I actually face in writing. But in overall, like one of my editors said, it's a learning curve, and I really thank them, because you need to be there each time they are editing my work. To get to a stage, I will just be telling myself, I paid you people to do this work. The stress you are giving me is even more than the work you are doing. But I really thank them, because they were quite critical, quite objective, and made the whole journey quite easy for me.
Thank you so much. And may you continue to find people who will make your next books that you want to write easy for you. I pray that you will not, meet anybody that will stress you out, because that's very important too, because I know that if you don't have like a good support system, you could just give up, like, I'm not doing, I beg, it's not by force. No, am I the only one, and just leave it like, I beg. But, thank you to everybody who's worked with you and made it easy for you to want to continue. So thank you for that. All right, so we're going to quickly move on. We're almost done, so please just hang in there. Like I said, I hope everybody is, you have your pen and paper, your 2B pencil, HB pencil, you're writing, because I'm going to ask a question. And I said the fastest thing that to type is going to be, there will be something. So right now, we're going to have some comments from the audience. And the first person I am going to call is Dr. F.T. Shania Vaughn. And the little background to Dr. F.T. Shania Vaughn, she is a retired radiologist, and who's always had a passion for medicine. She obtained her licentiate of the Royal College of Physicians and Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. Dr. Felicia completed her postgraduate training, radiology at the University of Liverpool. She received a diploma in medical radiology and diagnosis and fellowship of the Faculty of Radiologists of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. She is also a fellow of the West African College of Surgeons. Dr. Felicia is a loving mother and grandmother. Now retired, she resides in the United Kingdom, but also loves visiting home. She loves dancing, watching movies, spending time with family and loved ones, and reading. So at this time, I would like to call on Dr. F.T. Shonaya Vaughn to please just briefly just let us know her thoughts on the book and any personal resonance on this book. So if Dr. Felicia is on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, but we cannot see you.
Oh, okay. Can you see me now?
No, you came on briefly and went off. Okay.
You can see me now.
How are you doing today, ma'am?
Very, very good.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
So let us know your thoughts on the books and how it resonates with you.
On the books.
Yes, ma'am.
I will start with the very first book, which I read here in my sitting room. I must say, while I was reading the book, I thought to myself, have I told Dr. Shaba my life history? I know I talk a lot. It's not funny, is it? Yeah, but I can't remember telling him my life history because reading that book, well, when I was young, my grandfather, Shonaya Vaughn, was rated as one of the richest men in my town, Ijebu. But now, you will rate him as being the bottom of the this. And that's where I put myself. I wasn't born with silver spoon. Even wooden spoon is by force. That book relates so much to me, my life. There are certain pages that if you just, it's like putting a round peg in a round hole to fit me. And there are certain pages. In fact, I called Dr. Shaba. I said, are you Shaitan? Because reading the book, I added 2 + 2 and I got 4, not 4.5, 4. He has a very, very good. What is that word? Will I say intelligence? Yes, one. But his ability to write is fantastic. I had been an examiner before, therefore I know. But then, there we started from the bottom of the ladder, and by God's grace, see where he is today, and see where me, this very young woman, is today. Because I'm a young woman of 84. No. When at the beginning of the program, and I was hearing doctor, and I said, oh, I remembered my grandson, Ayodeji Shaba. Said, you are a doctor that can't give injection. So I added 2 + 2, and I said, all these doctors, most of them can't give injection. I thank God for your life, Felix. Not only you. All the things I wanted to say, you have already said it. If I continue to repeat it, it's tautology. Like my grandson would say, I'm bored. Everybody will be bored because it will be a repetition. But I want everybody to read the 3 books. The second and the third books are for people who are just, because I'm a young woman, who are just a little bit younger than myself. Communication is very important in a relationship. It goes a very long way. Like I said, I don't want to go all over what Dr. Shaba had said. Communication, patience, and trying to understand each other. You understand your spouse. I have a daughter who bullies me on the phone. Thank God it's on the phone. And I told her, I said, you are teaching me how to tell lies, and I don't know how to lie. Because you haven't eaten? What at this time? So now I just whether I've eaten or not. I said, I've eaten. So, you people who are younger than me, please always be patient and prayerful. Very prayerful. It is very important. I'm going to stop because I was told, I had been warned that it's only 3 minutes. And when people give me 3 minutes, I try to round up in 2 minutes so that I won't be punished. But before I round up, I will say, congratulations, Felix, my dear son. God bless you. More grace to your elbow. Not only Felix, his wife Elizabeth. He said behind any successful man is a strong woman, the pillar. I'm sure she has tried a lot. When she needs her husband's attention, the husband's attention is on the book he's writing. Now lie, it's not. Speaking the truth. Congratulations, both of you. God bless you. More grace to your elbow. I'm really, really, really very proud of you. Very proud of you. That's when you said, Mommy, you are going to... I said, I don't like talking. Nowadays, in fact, I don't... My English, you would think I'm still from my bush, my village. You won't know I've been in this country since 1962. And when I saw, I paid attention to all the names. I said, why me? Why did you put a very young woman like me in this group? But we thank God. I thank God for you. I know when you were, what you went through when you were preparing for your PhD. But glory be to God.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much, Dr. F.T. Shanae Yvonne, for those words of encouragement. We thank you for your wisdom. We pray for more long life and prosperity with you. And appreciate everything. I'm sure Dr. Shaba appreciates everything that she just said to you, and you'll keep it in your heart. Thank you so much again, Dr. F.T. Shanae Yvonne. I see a message here from Elizabeth Morgan. It says, thank you, Ma, Dr. Felicia Shanae Yvonne. For those who don't understand Yoruba, it means you will live long. Amen and amen. Thank you so much for that. And then moving right along, we are going to call on Mrs. Margaret Ayola. If Mrs. Margaret Ayola is on here, we'll also like to hear from her reflections and just comments on this, on the books. Is Mrs. Margaret Ayola here, please? Hello, Ma. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. And you, I can see that you are good.
I am very well, thank you. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation.
And I thank you for the way you are conducting the book launching.
Thank you,
ma'am. I don't know where to start, but I just want to say that right from the time I know Dr. Shaba, I know him to be a very serious-minded man. I have known him for not long, maybe about 20 years. And from then, you can see how hard working he is. So I'm not surprised that he has done this. And I've just read one of the books, and that's the very first one. Actually, I asked him a question. I said, were you writing about yourself? Because it just showed the things that people are going through back in Africa or in Nigeria. And he said, no, why do you say that? And the way you wrote is like you are just telling a story of yourself. It's very interesting. I wish people can buy it, especially back home, to teach the young ones that they need to persevere and they need to be serious-minded to make headway in life. Dr. Shaba, I say congratulations to you. And I want to congratulate your wife too, because she has been very helpful. I know her and I know how good she is. I know the boys are taking after you, because I can see one of them reading and doing. So I just wish the family the very best, and I wish you more successes in life. Congratulations once more.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Margaret Ayola, for those kind words. To both Dr. Shaba and to myself, it's an honor being here. It's an honor, being asked to be the host to help with this virtual book launch. So much. You could have picked anybody else, but you chose me, so I'm very grateful for this. Now we're going to go to the two parts where I said, everybody pay attention. This is a giveaway. Dr. Shaba has graciously said he's going to give away some books. And I'm going to ask the questions. So the fastest finger to answer question will get a book. Okay? Is everybody ready? Yes? Everybody ready? Let me see. Okay, so my first question for those, now I'm going to know if everybody was listening. My first question is going to be, what chapter did Dr. Shaba read from Amarachi's Tangled thread, and what was the title? I need the complete. You have to say the two, though. It's 1A and 1A. And what is the title? What is the title? I said, what is the chapter and what is the title of that chapter? Nobody's gotten it yet. The question is two parts because he did mention it. He said the chapter and he said the title of that chapter. Nobody's gotten it yet. 3 people have gotten question 1, but there is a 1A. 1A. Let me see.
Obas has stated it correctly.
Obas, let me see. I just refreshed mine stuff. Let me see. Where is it? Yes.
Chapter 2 and Amarachi got married.
Yes. Obas. Thank you for paying attention. Okay, it's cool. Did you get past that? Something like this. Like, don't let me write it and don't want those that will get like zillion papers to write and stuff. Thank you so much. Okay, Obas, we're going to write your information down. Dr. Shaba, do you have his information?
We'll get that tomorrow. Funny enough, we worship in the same place, in the same church, so we get his book tomorrow. It's up.
Good. Those that worship together get one book together. Correct. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. And to everybody who participated in that, some people just wrote chapter 2, which is correct, but it was a 2-part question. So thank you, Obas. You got that. My next question, it's from the third. I'm not going to say the third book. Yes. It's from Glory Rose. All right. And my question is, it's a 2-part. 1. What are the names of the main character in the book and where did they relocate to? Mbano, Akolashade. Mbano. Mbano. Uchena almost. Candy, if I'm right, is that it?
Cynthia.
Where is Cynthia? I don't see Cynthia.
First, I follow me here today to the UK.
Where? Let me see. I see Candy. I can't tell you. Cynthia, yes, I follow me here today. Sorry about that. This thing, it keeps going really fast. That's why I have a co-host. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Some people for fighting me today. Yeah. They're fighting me today. Yes, it is Apology and Yesterday, and they relocated to the UK. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Means you were paying attention. Thank you so much. All right. And Dr. Felix, do you know where Cynthia is, right? So that we can get her information?
I will get the information later.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much. All right, last question. I'm gonna try to make it easy. Let me see. Yeah, I can't answer this question because not everybody was on at that time. So let me see. This is easy. Let me do an easy one. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I should make it easy or let's see. Should I make it easy or just complicate matters? I see the world is not complicated enough.
Easy.
All right, I'll do that. Now, I need to know This is easy. Oh. This is very easy. Oh. This is very easy. Fingers. Are they on the keyboard? Title of Dr. Shaba's first book. Title. His very first book. What's the title? Okay, and see Pat, right? I see Pat Daniels was the first person. Is that right, Mr. Lawrence?
Yes, Pat Daniels.
Quick question. This is going to be
Pat Daniels.
Yes, Pat Daniels. Thank you, Pat. Now,
Pat Daniels.
Dr. Shaba is going to be the one to decide whether this is a go or not, because it's just yesterday, but it has other things on it, like just yesterday, a journey of strength and change. So Dr. Shaba, I'm going to leave it to you. Is this answer sufficient enough? Just yesterday.
Well, take it, it's sufficient.
It's sufficient.
It's a journey of strength and change.
You were the first, and he said, Dr. Shaba said, it's sufficient enough. So thank you, Pat. And also, even if Dr. Shaba had said it's not, the guest and MC would have said yes. You know why? You joined an hour early. Remember?
I remember?
He joined because I joined and messed up the timing because I'm in the US. And I'm like, why is there nobody on here? You know, so I sent Dr. Shaba a message. I'm like, he's like, it's in an hour. I'm like, oh, sorry, but Miss Daniels, Norway was already on. So either way, I would have said, yes, ma'am, you are getting the book. So thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's participated in this grand challenge. And Dr. Shaba has your information, and you will be getting your books. I believe maybe you'll be able to tell him which one you want of the books, right, Dr. Shaba? They can say which one they want, right?
Based on the way you structure the questions,
yes.
The Oba's got his on Amarachi.
Okay.
Cynthia got hers on Glory Rose, and Pat got hers on Just Yesterday. So we'll stick.
See how we did? I didn't did. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody who participated in this. This was I had fun in doing that. Now we've actually come to Pat raised her hand. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Shaba, I just earlier, in anticipation of the call, bought all 3 books on Amazon. So please donate the one that I won to somebody who otherwise wouldn't have it. And I will make sure that I circulate those books widely here in my home state of Maine. So it was good to be with everybody.
Thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate that. Actually, Pat is somebody I have personally met when I came to see my brother in the US, and she has been a very wonderful person. So I'm not surprised that she got the book right anyway. And
the Shaba family is our family, and we're just waiting for you and Elizabeth and the 3 boys to come visit. So
we'll be with you soon. Thank you.
Can I come, Pat, please? I'm in Texas.
Sure. Where in Texas are you?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, I have a very good friend in El Paso.
Oh no, yeah, that's a ways away, but yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I think Dr. Shaba, since you're going to be donating that, can we just, because after Miss Pat was Blessing was the next person to answer correctly. So I guess we can. Is that you're on mute? Can you unmute? Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay. Blessing. See, your name is Blessing. When you get that a blessing, see how your name can draw goodness for you. you know. So blessing, you just got blessed with a book. So if you're on, that's wonderful. And Dr. Shaba will be in touch with you on how he can get it to you. So thank you so much. Thank you. And now we are coming to a close of this wonderful virtual book launch. Once again, the accounts, if you want to support Dr. Shaba in his work, is in the chat. And if for some reason you weren't able to screenshot or know where it is, you can reach out to him directly. The books are on Amazon, and Miss Pat actually bought all three without even any hesitation. That's how it's supposed to be. In fact, if you're watching on your computer, on your phone, just start buying it. Just buy the books, and you will thoroughly enjoy it. So thank you so much, everybody. And now we are going to, like I said, we are coming to the closing session. Dr. Shaba, would you like to give your, just acknowledge the people that are here before we go on to our closing prayer? Before you go on, is Bishop Igalo still on, please? Bishop Igalo, are you still on? I don't know. I don't think so. Mr. Lawrence, can you see that name there?
No, I can't see it yet.
Okay. So I guess Pastor Mayowa Oshi, is that Dr. Shaba, is that good for him to do the? Okay. All right, Dr. Shaba, if you have a few words to your audience who stayed on for this. Oh wow. Okay. I see here Uchenna has also made a pledge on here. It's on the chat of £50. Thank you so much, Uchenna. God bless you. And Dr. Shaba? Yes, sir. We have gotten to the closing session, and it's time for you to, acknowledge if you have any words to say to your guests right now.
I'm quite overwhelmed because this is my very first time of coming up with becoming public with Iceland. And I must say that despite all the agonies and challenges I faced when writing those books, today makes crown it all to really show me that whatever you were doing in the personally then, people are now seeing the light. And I really want to appreciate each and every one of you. I cannot take that for granted, for taking out your time to be here today, because it's not an easy thing for people to leave whatever they are doing to hook up. I mean, some use their money to buy data, some on Wi-Fi and the rest. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And I pray that as we journey in life, we'll be able to see one or two things that resonate with us in those books, and we'll be able to say, yeah, thank God that I read this book, or thank God that I was, there to witness the launching. And for those who actually have one desire or the other to write, writing is quite an easy thing. It is quite very easy when, just like you said, when you have people who are ready to support you. So don't keep those ideas in yourself. Put them in pen and paper. Then you look out for people out there that will be able to transform, that will be able to bring life into them. And if you are struggling with anything in that area, you can just send a message to me. I will put you through to the right people that will be able to help you in that place. We cannot continue to keep those ideas in us. We should be able to allow people to, enjoy our ideas, our inspiration in one way or the other. And once again, thank you so much, the host. You have been so fantastic. I'm quite blessed to have you as the host of the program, and to the co-host also, I thank you so much for your sacrifice. And to everyone out there, once again, I love you all. Thank you. thank you and thank you.